everyone, welcome to this quick refresher video on how to graph a line when it's in y equals mx plus b format. Now y equals mx plus b is known as the slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept. We call it slope-intercept because it's very easy to find the m, which is the slope. So the value that's next to the x will be the slope, and the b is the y-intercept. And so anytime we need to graph a line, we can follow these procedures to do so. Step number one, you got to get y by itself. You want to solve for y so that it's in y equals mx plus b format. Once you've done that, you're going to identify what the y-intercept is. The y-intercept is going to be the b value, the value that's not with the x. You'll then want to graph that on the y-axis because it's the y-intercept. From there, you're going to use the slope, the m value, that's the value with the x, to get the next point, and then draw your line. Let's give it a try. Let's say we had y equals 2/3 x minus 4. Okay, good. So step number one, let's go through our procedures. Step number one, solve for y. Well, y is already by itself, so we don't need to do anything on this one. Step number two, we need to find the y-intercept, the b value. Well, that's the number that's not with the x. So our y-intercept here is -4. So on the y-axis, this is the y-axis right here. Remember, x is the horizontal axis, and y is the vertical axis. I'm going to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, right there. That's my y-intercept, because this value right here, the value not with the x, is the y-intercept. Let's go to step number 3. In step number 3, we need to start from this point and use the slope to get the next point. Now the slope is the value with the x. The slope is 2/3. So we know that slope is rise over run. So this 2/3 means I need to rise 2 and run 3 from the y-intercept. So right here from the y-intercept, I'm going to rise 2 and run 3. Ha! Now we have 2 points. And those 2 points are all we need to build our line. Let's try one more. I've got y equals -5/2 x plus 3. I'm going to do this one in blue. Step number one, we need to solve for y. Well, y is already by itself, so I don't need to worry about that. Step number two, find the y-intercept. The y-intercept is 3. It's the value not with the x. 1, 2, so that's right here. The slope is -5/2, -5/2. So that means my rise is -5 and my run is 2. So from this point, I'm going to go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to run 2. 1, 2. So it's right here. I then connect these 2 points. And that's the equation. That's the graph of this line, y equals -5/2 x plus 3. Notice that the number was negative, and so my rise actually ended up being a fall because it's -5. If I rise -5, that's going down 5. The last example I'm going to do is y equals 2x minus 1. In y equals 2x minus 1, let's go through the procedures. Step number one, I need to solve for y. Well, y is already by itself, so I don't need to worry about that. Step number two, I need to identify the y-intercept. Ooh, well, that would be -1. So I'm going to graph it right here at -1, where it touches the y. Now, from that point, I need to use this, find the slope and use rise over run. The slope is 2. So my rise over run. Now, notice that the last two I had were fractions. 2 is not a fraction, but I can make it a fraction by putting it over 1. That might help you identify what the rise and the run is. If it's just a whole number, your run is always going to be 1. So my rise is 2. So from this point, I'm going to go up 2 and over 1. And then I'm going to connect those 2 points. So now it's your turn. Here are 3 questions we'd like you to do. You can go ahead and pause the video and apply what you've learned. Use the procedures, the 4 steps here, to work through the problems and graph them on a piece of paper. that you have. You can draw them on separate graphs if you like, or if you want to put them all on the same one, that's fine as well. When you're ready to check your answer, go ahead and unpause the video and we'll go over it together. Okay, let's see how you did. Here's number 1, y equals -3/4 x plus 5. Let's go through the procedures. Procedure number 1, solve for y. We've already got it for y, so we're good there. Step number 2, identify the y-intercept and graph it. Now the y-intercept is the number not with the x. So that's this 5 here. So I'm going to go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And right on the y-axis, I'm going to put 5 because this is the y-intercept. Now we need to identify the slope. The slope is the number with the x. So -3/4 is my rise over run. So from this point right here, from the y-intercept, I'm going to rise -3, so that's going down 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice that I'm always going to the right. The run is always going to be right. Okay, perfect. So that's what you should have got for your answer on number 1. Let's move on to number 2. In number 2, I need to solve for y. Well, y is already by itself, so we're good. Need to graph the y-intercept. The y-intercept is -3, so I'm going to go down 3. 1, 2, 3. This is my y-intercept right there. My slope is the number with the x. It's 4. And that's the rise over the run. Oh, this is not a fraction, so 4 is really 4 over 1. Remember, when you have a whole number, you can put 1 underneath, because 4 divided by 1, well, that's just going to be 4. So I'm going to rise 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and run 1. Okay, and those are my points. Once you get 2 points, you can connect. Okay, number 3. Ooh, number 3 was a little challenging. Okay, doesn't look like the others. It's got 2x plus 3y equals 6. It's because we've got to apply step number 1 here. We're going to have to solve for y. I got to get y by itself to be able to graph this way. So to do that, let's go ahead and subtract 2x to both sides. Minus 2x. That leaves me with 3y equals -2x plus 6. And then I'm going to have to divide by 3. Divide everything by 3, both sides by 3. So I get -2/3 x plus 2. Okay. Now, if you didn't get that far, you should pause the video now and go ahead and graph this line. Hopefully you did. And we can now continue on to the next step. Step number 2 is to identify the y-intercept. Well, that's the number not with the x. Right there. That 2. So 1, 2. This is the y-intercept. And then my slope is -2/3. And remember, slope means rise over run. So I'm going to rise 2. Well, actually, let's see, it's a -2. So I'm rising -2. That's going down 2 and running 3. 1, 2. That would be right here. I then connect those two. And we're done. Okay, thanks for watching this quick refresher video. And keep working hard on graphing your lines. Thanks for watching.